Let's talk about Heisman, right? It's October. We're getting there, although it's been a weird Heisman year. To be honest with you, I really wanted to include more guys in this segment, but we just don't have time. So I'm going to go with kind of my top 5 right now, although I think legitimately you could have 6 or 7 guys that could actually win the award. Let's start with what I think that the Heisman represents, okay? We always argue about, like, well, is it the MVP of the best team? Is it the most outstanding player in college football? It's supposed to be the most outstanding player. So for me, that means a player that plays above the X's and O's. It's not just about the numbers for me, although you have to have great numbers. It's also about your ability to make your team right even when the opposition does everything right. Those are rare players. Those are special players. To be above the X's and O's. It doesn't matter what's going on. You can still excel in the middle of a football game. So let's take a look now at a few of the guys. Let's start with Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker. First of all, this is what Kenneth has been able to do from a numbers perspective. He leads college football with those close to 1,000 yards, 997, 142 per game. That leads the country. Only Power 5 player with multiple 200-yard rushing games this season. He's been fantastic. But is it more about the offensive line or is it about Kenneth? Now, while it's both, let's show you a play where he goes way above the X's and O's. The defense is going to do everything right. This is just a nondescript handoff against Youngstown State. And I want you to watch early in this play. As soon as Kenneth Walker, who's in the backfield, is going to get the ball, you're going to see some unblocked players. Guys get off of blocks. First of all, he's got a guy right in the backfield. Now you've got other guys that are pursuing, that are getting in there. He's still breaking tackles. There's other guys with chances. The defense has done everything right here. They have gotten into the backfield. They've got a chance to tackle him several different times, and he's able to make a bad play great. He makes this an explosive run. You're telling me after the onset of this play, the ball is snapped to the quarterback. The offensive line gets absolutely beat right here. They're beat, totally beat. The defense has won. No, they haven't, because Kenneth Walker is above the X's and O's. He makes people miss, he gets to the edge, and he creates an explosive play. That's one of the reasons why I love Kenneth Walker, is that he is an above the X's and O's player. And by the way, we're going to talk to him next segment. I can't wait to talk with Kenneth and have him share what his year has been all about so far this year. Let's move on. Okay, the next player that we're going to evaluate is Bryce Young, quarterback at Alabama. Leads the Power 5 with those 24 passing touchdowns. He's got 297 passing yards per game. Only 3 interceptions, #1 scoring offense in the SEC. He's got all the numbers. But does he play above the X's and O's? Yes, he does. Let's take a look at Bryce Young on the field. Here's a play against Ole Miss in which the defense does everything right in the red zone. He's got nowhere to throw the football right here. Great coverage, but he does what he's supposed to. He scoots up in the pocket, and he's able to then find a wide receiver late. But look, he doesn't even have his platform. His platform being his legs. Your legs are what generate the power to your throw as a quarterback. Check out the talent that he has. So again, everybody's covered. And as soon as Bryce Young gets the snap, he does what he's supposed to. He moves up in the pocket. This is the perfect position to throw from. But right here, his legs are just parallel. He's got no platform to throw with, and he still throws a dart into the back of the end zone, and he's able to create a touchdown. That's above the X's and O's play right there from Bryce Young. Let's go to the next play for Bryce Young. He can do it with his arms. What does he do when the defense calls a great coverage? He's going to get the snap. There's only 3 guys rushing from Mississippi State, which means there are 8 guys in coverage. Very tough to throw the ball against inside the red zone. Now you get a win from those 3 defensive linemen, but he's sudden enough to get away. He pumps the football to freeze the defense just a moment, and again he runs down the sideline and is able to get all the way into the end zone. This is a play in which the defense is right. They do everything right. They only rush 3. They take away all the passing windows with the 8 guys in the secondary. They win up front with only 3, and he still gets away. Now he's able to pump, provide just a moment of hesitation from the defense to where he gets the edge and gets into the end zone. That is above the X's and O's play from Bryce Young. Let's move on. Bijan Robinson. Let's break him down. Leads the Big 12 in scrimmage yards per game. Look at down here. By the way, since last December, 174 scrimmage yards per game, 19 touchdowns. That's both the most in college football. He is special, and he's getting it done. There's no doubt. Let's take a look at a couple of those above the X's and O's plays. What happens when the defense is right? They do it. They call the right defense. They play it right. Here he gets the ball. He's got 2 defenders, eyes on him. He's going to use speed to beat the first defender. Now he's going to jump cut after using speed, get away from the second defender. Now he's got to regather, use speed again to get away from the third defender. That's insane. That's insanity, folks. This is not supposed to happen. The defense is supposed to tackle him right here for a loss of 1, maybe no gain, maybe a yard at the most. They've got 2 players right there, eyes on him, speed. Now it's the jump cut. He gets away from both guys. But it's not just that. It's the balance and it's the explosiveness to get back to top speed and beat everyone to the end zone. That's stupid. That's ridiculous run right there. Next play. We've seen that one. What does he do against Oklahoma? This has become kind of the iconic play of this game, even though Texas didn't win. Speed around the edge, almost like a track star. Ooh, you see that little jump cut? Now it's about the vision. He gets away. Favorite part right here. Get off me, son. Get off of me, son. He's not a huge guy, but bam. He throws the stiff arm. Defender goes feet overhead. Gets all the way inside the 1-yard line. So again, every element is there. While it was blocked well, every element is there. He's got the speed and the burst to run the edge. Now the little jump cut. Now it's all about Bijan. Look at all of these Oklahoma defenders that have a shot. This defender right here, he's got the angle, he's got everything, boom, and he's just thrown to the ground. Thrown to the ground by Bijan Robinson. That's above the X's and O's play. Gotta love what he brings to the table. All right, next, let's move on to a couple of quarterbacks. Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, 64%, 260 total yards per game, 16 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Led Cincinnati, by the way, to 50-plus points in each of his last 2 games. And since last year, last 13 games, 41 total touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. Taking care of the football, doing what he needs to do. But what happens when the defense is right? Can he go above the X's and O's? Let's take a look at the film. Here's Desmond Ritter against great defense against UCF. Okay, the defender on the outside here plays this perfectly. He's got the position, that's terrific coverage, and yet Ritter makes him wrong with great ball placement. There's not a lot you can do as a defender when the quarterback can do this with his arm. Watch the accuracy. First of all, the wide receiver stacks the defender, so he's got to go over the top, but still under the end line and not out of bounds. And he throws that in basically like the window, like throwing it through my arms like this. That's the type of window that he has to throw that ball. That was just an excellent throw. You can't defend that. That's above the X's and O's. Let's go further into this game and check out what he can do with his legs, because here they're going to run a little zone read. Now this is 3rd down. You got to stay on the field and move the chains. UCF does everything right. 3 defenders there to stop him. Nope. He's able to stop, burst, get north and south, which means upfield, and he's able to move the chains and create a nice little gain for Cincinnati. So again, it's a zone read play. He comes out there. The defense does everything right. They've got 3 guys there to stop him. What's the coordinator supposed to do when you can't get him on the ground? There's not much you can do. Ritter, he's able to move the chains. That's above the X's and O's. But that's still not quite my top guy. And the top guy is going to be Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral. He's been exceptional. 22 total touchdowns, only 1 interception. He leads the SEC in total yards per game this season at 360, and all SEC quarterbacks with 75 rush yards per game. I hope he can play this week. We'll see about his health. That's the kind of risk you run when you run him 30 times against Tennessee. Probably shouldn't do that. But let's take a look at what Matt Corral can do on the field. This is above the X's and O's stuff right here. All right, first of all, you're going to get Matt Corral, and this is a terrific blitz design from Tennessee. They do everything right. They get the free rusher right in his face, but he waits long enough in order to get away. There's the pump that we also saw from Bryce Young. Young quarterbacks utilize that pump. It freezes the defense. Now it's the athleticism and it's the speed to get to the sideline and move the chains. That's 3rd and long, folks. 3rd and long, the defense did everything right, and he's still able to move the chains. Let's go to the next play now, because Matt Corral, while he's special with his legs, he's more special with his arm. Here, great protection. Watch this. Just goes way up and over the top. You can't defend that. You can't defend that. That's not a blown coverage. That's nothing but just an absolute missile from Matt Corral. So he can beat you with his legs, and then he can do this up and over the top. Wide receiver does not even break stride, and he can hit you with the explosive pass play. This is one of the reasons why I think he's your front runner right now, is because he can do it all, and he can do it all very well. Run the football. He can scramble. He can also beat you over the top with that big arm. He throws for a high completion percentage. He doesn't turn the football over, and that's one of the best offenses in America. Matt Corral, well done. Everybody on the list, you're above the X's and O's. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.